A star on trial. Young Thug's Rico nightmare. The world watched in shock. Young Thug, a Grammy-winning rapper, stood accused of running a criminal enterprise. His YSL collective, once celebrated as a record label, was now labeled a dangerous gang. Prosecutors painted a picture of a world filled with violence, drugs, and intimidation, all orchestrated by Young Thug himself. The stakes were incredibly high. This wasn't just about one man's freedom. It was about the very soul of hip-hop and the freedom of artistic expression. Young Thug's trial was a spectacle, a stark reminder of the thin line between art and reality. The courtroom became a battleground, where the prosecution sought to silence a generation's voice, while the defense fought to protect the sanctity of artistic expression. This wasn't just a trial, it was a cultural moment, a referendum on how society views young black men and the art they create. The prosecution's case was built on a foundation of fear and prejudice. They pointed to Young Thug's lyrics, his music videos, his social media posts, all as evidence of his alleged crimes. They argued that his words weren't just art, but a confession, a blueprint for the violence they claimed he orchestrated. They presented a parade of witnesses, many of whom were former associates with questionable pasts, eager to trade testimony for leniency. The prosecution's strategy was clear: demonize the artist, blur the lines between fiction and reality, and prey on the jury's fears. They knew that Young Thug's music, with its gritty realism and tales of street life, could easily be misconstrued by those unfamiliar with the genre. They banked on the idea that the jury wouldn't see a young artist expressing himself, but a dangerous criminal bragging about his exploits. The defense team faced an uphill battle. They had to convince the jury that Young Thug, the artist, was not Young Thug, the alleged criminal mastermind. They argued that his lyrics were not confessions but works of art, inspired by his life experiences. Experts testified that rap music often employs hyperbole and metaphor, that its gritty realism is a commentary, not a reflection of reality. The defense meticulously exposed flaws in the prosecution's case. They reminded the jury that correlation does not equal causation, that rapping about something doesn't mean it was done. They implored the jury to see Young Thug as an artist, a storyteller, a product of his environment. Section 4. The stakes are high. Young Thug's future hangs in the balance. As the trial progressed, the weight of the moment grew heavier. Young Thug's future, once so bright, now hung precariously in the balance. A guilty verdict would not only mean a lengthy prison sentence, but would also send shockwaves through the music industry. It would set a dangerous precedent, allowing prosecutors to use an artist's work against them, to criminalize creativity and stifle free expression. The world held its breath, waiting for the jury's decision. The tension was palpable. This wasn't just a trial. It was a cultural moment, a battle for the soul of hip-hop. Would the jury see through the prosecution's fear-mongering and recognize Young Thug for the artist he was? Or would they succumb to the stereotypes and prejudices that have plagued black men for centuries? Section 5. Rap on trial. A dangerous precedent? Young Thug's trial highlighted the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal proceedings. This practice often portrays black defendants as inherently dangerous, drawing criticism for its bias and chilling effect on artistic expression. Critics argue rap lyrics should be protected under the First Amendment. Using them as evidence is like using a novelist's work to prove crimes. The debate is both legal and cultural, highlighting prejudices around hip-hop. It underscores the double standard in society, where some art forms are celebrated, others demonized. Section 6. The verdict. Justice or injustice? The jury's decision was a pivotal moment. Young Thug pleads guilty in YSL Rico trial. State recommends 45-year sentence. Would he get the 45 years or less? That their art could be their undoing? It would embolden prosecutors to target artists for their creative expression, to silence dissenting voices, and to perpetuate a system that disproportionately punishes people of color. That outcome in the Young Thug's trial will have far-reaching consequences, not just for the artist himself, but for the future of hip-hop and the very notion of artistic freedom. It will force us to confront uncomfortable truths about our justice system, our cultural biases, and the price of creative expression. The world is watching. We're hoping the best for Young Thug while prison is tough. The hip-hop scene and the way violence is portrayed in hip-hop culture will need to change so we don't lose all the artists in this genre. It will take the youths and a better understanding to get the culture where it's supposed to go.